For those of you that you love setting new goals, and I'm that person, like I love setting new goals, but sometimes I'll set a goal for myself, but I won't really have a plan for how I'm going to achieve that goal. And if you don't have a plan, you really shouldn't set that goal. That's more of just a dream. Like it's all right, we're all allowed to have our dreams. Like we can dream about things, but just know that that's always going to be a dream if you don't have any desire to put in the work to get that. Welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Scale podcast. I am your host, Mary Katherine, and it is 2024. It is a new year. This is our first episode of season 2 of the podcast. And I just want to take a second by saying thank you. Thank you to all of our listeners. Thank you for our loyal followers. Thank you for subscribing to our channel and sharing our episodes with all of your friends. It is because of you, because of our amazing listeners, that we are able to produce a season 2 of the podcast. And I am so ready for you guys to see what we have in store for 2024. It is going to be an incredible year. We already have some just outstanding guests booked for the show. Some that I'm going to have like a complete pinch me moment for having on the show. It's going to be a really great year. So buckle up, get ready for the ride. So we have to talk about goal setting, new goals, new mindsets, new everything as we go into a new year. And many people say like new year, new you. And I want to squash that saying right now because it's the same you, but we can have new goals. We can have a fresh perspective. We can have things that we are excited about in the new year. And I am here to tell you today that it's okay to have super big goals. It's okay to want to start fresh. Sometimes we need that. We need to just start fresh. And so that's what this entire episode is about today. I am going to give you 7 things. I'm going to give you 7 areas in which you can try for the new year. And this is going to be kind of like untraditional when it comes to goal setting, because I am not going to give you like 7 tactical steps on how you can set a goal and plan and execute within the next year. I'm not going to do that today. This episode is for those of you that maybe want to go about goal setting in an unconventional way. Or maybe you're in the new year thinking to yourself, I don't want to set any goals. Like setting all of these goals, it just exhausts me. And then when I don't have a plan for reaching them, or even if I do have a plan and I don't hit that goal, then I get super down on myself and I'm not motivated to set another goal. So this episode is going to be like an untraditional way to look at the new year, a fresh start, and to kickstart any like bit of doubt you might have in yourself or the feeling of not actually being motivated. I hope after you listen to this episode that you feel motivated to at least go try one of these things. So for those of you that you love setting new goals, and I'm that person, like I love setting new goals, but one thing that I have found in the past is sometimes I'll set a goal for myself, but I won't really have a plan for how I'm going to achieve that goal. And if you don't have a plan for how you're going to achieve it, you really shouldn't set that goal because that's more of just a dream. Like it's all right, we're all allowed to have our dreams. Like we can dream about things, but just know that that's always going to be a dream if you don't have any desire to put in the work to get that. And so it can't really be a goal unless you know that you have a plan of attack and how you're going to achieve that goal. Now, we're not going to always achieve all of the goals that we have a plan for achieving. Like there are going to be things that you want to achieve and you develop this plan and you have the blueprint and you have the business plan, you have it all mapped out and you start making progress and then something happens and you never achieve it. Or maybe your life changes and that goal isn't something that you even want to achieve anymore. And that's going to happen. That's inevitable. Like that's just life. But I'm here to say that don't set goals for yourself if you're not willing to do the work, if you're not willing to create that plan to achieve it. And know that it's okay to have dreams, but it's just that. It's a dream. It's a dream, not a goal. If you have something that you want, but you're not willing to do the work for, or you're not willing to plan out how you're going to achieve it. An example for this would be like, say that within the next year, you want to save $10,000. And I tried to think like, what's something that you would want to save $10,000 for? And I know for me right now, like I have two little ones. We really want to take a like all inclusive, week long, amazing vacation trip to Disney World. We want to do that. That's something that we want to add to our future plans within the next few years. Maybe when Stone is a little bit older, because bringing a 2-year-old through Disney World, I don't know, that just sounds exhausting to me. But going to Disney World is something that our family wants to do. And I know based on my research that it costs a lot of money to go to Disney World for an entire week and stay at the nice hotel and have the food package and meet all the characters and have breakfast with Minnie and Mickey Mouse. Like that costs a lot of money. So let's say that we want to save $10,000. Well, I can't just say we're going to save $10,000 and boom, it's going to happen. Like I have to create a plan for doing that. Same goes with our fitness journey or a weight loss journey. If you want to lose 50 pounds, you can't just say you want to lose 50 pounds. Like you're going to have to create a plan for achieving that. And what I like to do when I'm creating a goal like this, where it's like, a number, like a amount of money I want to save or weight that I want to lose, something that I want to achieve, I like to reverse engineer. And so when we're talking about the money example, $10,000 is roughly like $850 per month. And let's break it down even further. That's around $200 a week. Let's break it down even further. That's what, like $30, $40 a day. And so how am I going to do that? Am I going to do it every month, every week, every day? I need to create a real concrete plan on how I am going to get there. Now, the plan may change. I may still have this goal, but 3 months in, I may realize that I can save more than $850 a month. Or maybe 1 month I'm only able to save $200, but the next month I'm able to save $1,200. We're going to course correct when appropriate, but you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan if you have a big goal that you want to achieve. Another example would be like getting a new job. Like you can't just say, I'm going to get a new job this year. I want a new job. I so hope that I can get hired by someone else. Like you have to put in the work. You have to have a plan for how you're going to exit your current position and find a new job, a new career, a new employer. Like it's not going to just happen. It's not going to happen on its own. You have to have a plan. If you have trouble setting goals like this, and you are someone who tends to set goals and you do them like on large scale or long term, you say like my annual goal or my 6-month goal, but you're finding that it never works out. Like you never actually stay consistent and you reach that goal, but you're still motivated to do so. What I would recommend for you is setting smaller goals and challenges for yourself. For example, if your goal really is to save $10,000, you want to save money in the new year, instead of looking at it over the next 12 months, I want you to think about the next 30 days. Like, what can you do in the next 30 days to save money? That might be like just cutting out your daily Starbucks or no buying clothes for the next month. Or, if it's a fitness or a health goal, it's like getting on the treadmill every single day and walking 1 mile, or scheduling your boot camp sessions in advance for 4 days a week, every single week for the next 30 days. How can we break it down into bite-sized chunks and just do it 30 days at a time? And my husband and I do this actually because I find that for me, it's hard for me to stay consistent with long-term goals if I don't break it down into short-term challenges and have some sort of reward for myself afterwards in order to stay consistent and stay on that path towards that larger goal. So for me, like the 30-day challenges, it's fun because maybe every 30 days you create a new plan for getting you closer to that goal. An example would be like maybe 1 month you do really good with saving and you don't go to Starbucks anytime. Like you never go to Starbucks for 30 days and you're able to save X amount of money. Well, then maybe the next month you say, okay, that was great. I can't believe I did that. I'm now this month going to do something different. This month, instead of not going to Starbucks, I'm not going to spend any money on clothes this month. And so that might be like your monetary goal to saving that 10,000. That might be what you do for the next 30 days there. And then maybe after that, you might say, okay, for the next 30 days, I am going to not go out to eat. We're going to eat all of our meals at home. And so just again, breaking it down into bite-sized chunks can sometimes help when you have a long-term goal that seems scary and hard to achieve in the beginning. So just breaking it down by like every 30 days or every quarter could help you significantly. So that is for those of you that are picking goals this year and you want to write them out, you want to create a plan, and you are committed for the next year to achieving them. And one thing I want to note with that is, breaking them down into smaller goals and smaller challenges is one side of the equation, but the other side too that has really helped me is writing them down and scheduling a weekly or monthly meeting with yourself or with anyone else that's involved. So it may be your significant other if you're trying to save money. It could be you're having a weekly meeting with your spouse and you're going through your budget. Or if you and your spouse are trying to lose 50 pounds together, or maybe you're trying to lose 50 and your spouse is trying to lose 25. Every single week, set a meeting with your significant other or just yourself, set aside that time, go through your progress, what has worked, what hasn't worked, and course correct. As I mentioned, like look at some things that you've done. Think about some things that you now want to try that's going to help get you towards that goal. And in order to stay focused, I do believe that you need to write it down and you need to set that time aside for yourself to dial in on that one thing that you're focused on, or else it's going to get forgotten. Like you are going to set that goal the first week of January, and then if you don't have a weekly meeting about that goal and you don't visit it every single week, you're going to forget about it. And then 3 months from now, you're going to say, oh yeah, I did set that goal of losing 50 pounds this year, but I've made no progress. And whose fault is that? All fingers are going to be pointing towards you. So set that time aside and also write it down. That has really helped me. All right. So moving on from goal setting, if you do not want to set goals or challenges for yourself, but you feel like you need that motivation in the new year, you want a fresh start, here's something that I love to do in combination with setting goals is get a new calendar and write some things that you have coming up to look forward to. And if you get this new calendar and you're going through month by month and you don't have anything to look forward to, plan a trip or plan a sabbatical, plan a break. I know for me, like just coming out of the holidays, one thing that I did was I front loaded the month of December where I had all of my work I needed to do, all of my project-based work. I had it completed by the middle of December because I knew that at the end of the month, my children were going to be out of school. It was the holidays, they were on break, and I wanted to have that break for myself, that mental break to spend time with them. And so I scheduled in that break, and that was something that I look forward to. So if you are in that season right now where you're wanting something to like jumpstart your motivation, get a new calendar, map out your year or map out the next quarter. If you have nothing to look forward to, try to find some things to look forward to, plan some breaks for yourself. And then also, if you do have like a lot of work coming up or you have something that like there's a deadline, set a reward for yourself. So maybe it's not a trip, maybe it's just like a night out with your significant other, or maybe it's a spa day. Like just setting those rewards and setting that time aside can help you tremendously when it comes to like staying motivated and staying consistent during the year. All right, number 4. This is again unconventional, untraditional ways to stay motivated in the new year, to get on that new year kick, is create a bucket list for the year. And it doesn't have to be like super specific or according to any kind of timeline, but it could be places you want to go, people you want to see, things that you've been meaning to do. It could be as simple as like taking a 5-mile hike that's 10 minutes down the road that you've always wanted to do. And like, it's 10 minutes down the road. It really is just finding that time to do it. So create a bucket list for yourself or for you and your spouse or you and your family as a whole that you have to look forward to in the new year. And I think this is really fun. Everybody should be doing this, me included. All right, number 5, create a project list or an update list. Now, this can be applied to any area of your life. It could be a home project, like maybe you want to do a bathroom renovation, or you want to organize your garage, or it could be like a wardrobe project. It could be like you want to completely change your wardrobe in the new year. You want to find clothes that are more comfortable and fashionable and cost effective. Like you want to find a new brand to try. It could be anything. Like you can renovate your house, you can renovate yourself. It could be you want to declutter your entire house. You want to have a yard sale. So pick a date within the near future, or maybe, 6 months from now, that you want to have a yard sale or a clean out day. Put that on your calendar. And over the next 3 to 6 months, clean stuff out every single week. Just set a little bit of time aside and clean stuff out. So creating a project list or an update list is a great way to stay motivated and kickstart the new year. All right, my number 6 is something that I'm actually doing in the new year. And I love this so much. And it's creating a mantra or personal mission statement for your life and for yourself. And so mine for 2024 is to bloom where you are planted. I am practicing a journey towards patience and gratitude in the current season of life that I am in. And how I came up with that is that I am very much in a season of life where my children are young. They need me. They're reliant on me when they are home from school. Like I am their caretaker along with my husband. But I have personal and professional goals. I have things that I want to achieve. And sometimes like I feel like it needs to happen right now. Like it all needs to happen right away. Like sometimes I want to take action before I have the plan. As I mentioned, like I have a goal, but I don't have a plan for getting there. And sometimes I want to pull the cart before the horse and I need to slow down. And if you're listening to this and you feel like this, it's okay. Like I get frustrated at times when I have these ambitions and I have these goals, but my life is not in a place where it's going to be easy for me to achieve them. And that's okay. Like I can still have those goals. I can still have that vision and those aspirations for myself. But I need to remember that this is the stage of life I'm in. I have 2 young children. I brought them into this world. And we've got to figure out, how do we mesh all of these things together? How do I mesh my personal and professional ambitions with my motherhood journey and take care of my family, be there for my spouse, be the parent that they need, be the wife that my husband needs? And I'm working on meshing it all together right now. And I have talked about compartmentalizing different parts of my life. And like sometimes as a business owner, and like a working mom, like you have to do that. Like you have to shut things off so that you can be present with your kids. But also, you want to have that level of congruency where you feel like you're operating on the same wavelength and frequency in all areas of your life. Like you don't want to be like all in on motherhood and your work life is like way down here, or all in with your work life and you feel like you're dropping the ball as a mom. You have the mom guilt. Like you want to try to teeter totter right there in the middle. It's so hard. It's so hard, but you want to try to do it. And so my goal and my mission statement for 2024 is to bloom where I am planted, because right now I am planted right here And I am going to try to bloom and be the best person that I can be in this season, in this stage of motherhood, in this season of life. Even when it comes to my health and fitness goals, like one thing I have found is right now, my life does not allow for me to work out 7 days a week. It doesn't. But what it does allow for is 4 to 5 30-minute workouts at Fit Body Bootcamp. It fits my life. It fits my schedule. It is just the perfect amount of time that I need and that I have to help me feel good and to show up as whatever person I need to be that day. If I need to be stay-at-home mom that day, great. If I need to be podcast host, working with the marketing team at HQ, helping my locations grow, if I need to be that person, great. I am working on practicing what I need right now and blooming where I'm at. So that's my mission statement. And I encourage you, if you are looking at the new year as like a fresh start, but you don't have these big lofty goals that you want to achieve that you're working towards, set a mission statement to live by. It may help you just stay motivated and it may spark a little bit of inspiration. All right, my last one, this is number 7. Create a list of all the things you want to start and stop doing in the new year. And this one is so great because I feel like once you get started, it's a snowball effect. Like you can start recognizing a bunch of things that you're doing that you need to stop and you need to replace it and start doing something else. So an example could be like you need to stop smoking and start working out. You need to stop staying up late and start going to bed early. You need to stop going to bed with makeup on and start a skincare routine. You need to stop making excuses when it's cold and dark outside and start scheduling your workouts in your phone, creating an alarm, and just going, because we know that once you start, again, with the snowball effect, it's easier to keep going. You get rolling down that hill and it gets easier. You build the momentum. Like anybody can have motivation, but it takes real skill and practice to build momentum. But once you get going, it's going to be easier to continue on that path. So those are 7 areas that you could try to dive into in the new year. And these are unconventional, they're untraditional, they are not like, hey, in the new year, we're going to set goals. Here's how we're going to achieve them. Every month, we're going to visit them. Like, I don't want you to think about that if that stresses you out. I want you to think of other ways that you can spark a little bit of motivation or inspiration in this new year, because we all need a fresh start. And going back to number 6, creating that personal mission statement for myself, that is the fresh start, the fresh perspective and outlook that I really need for the new year. And it isn't something that I just thought of in one day. It's actually something that I heard several months ago. And I thought about how I needed to get better at that, how I needed to get better at blooming where I'm at and just really appreciating where I'm at. And so I told myself, like months before the new year, that this is what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on being the best in this season. So I hope some of these spark some inspiration for you guys. And as always, I love being your host of the Beyond the Scale podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and share this episode with all of your friends. I am here to educate you, to inform you, to be your friend, to be that shoulder to cry on, to lean on, and to talk about everything related to life outside of that number on the scale. So until next time, you guys, thanks so much.